Hey guys, it's Mark, aka the Arachnoholic, doing a quick little rehousing of my Ephebopus murinus, or the skeleton tarantula. Now, a little bit about this tarantula. They are native to Brazil and French Guiana, which would make them a New World. They are considered semi-fossorial, as they will burrow should they be given a proper amount of substrate, oftentimes quite deep. However, they have been known to show semi-arboreal tendencies, especially when younger. And something very interesting to note about this species, as well as all the Ephebopus genus, is, well, two things. Although they are terrestrial tarantulas, as stated before, they have very flattened, distinctly flattened legs that are very reminiscent of our arboreal tarantulas. They have the flattened foot pads with the extra retractable pad that many of your Avicularia and Sombopoeus and other arboreals possess, yet they spend most, if not all, of their time on or below the ground. And another thing is the size of the abdomen on at least the skeleton here is extremely small in proportion to the rest of its body. Now, she's quite well fed. She molted about 2-3 months back, but she's been eating a good diet of 3 or 4 large crickets or superworms about 1 to 2 times a week. So her abdomen might look a little small, but she is quite well fed, make no mistake. But what we've got here is about a good size abdomen for this species. Again, it may look small, especially when you compare it to her carapace, but that's just with our skeletons. And something very, very interesting about all Ephebopus tarantulas is they do possess urticate hairs, but they possess them on the pedipalps, which are those two, they almost look like an extra set of shorter limbs. However, they are considered sensory instruments. The spider uses them to sense its environment, very much like how an insect uses its antenna. But so, the urticate hairs are not on the abdomen, they are on the pedipalps. And the tarantula can actually rub its pedipalps against its fangs and therefore flick the hairs from the front rather than brush them off from the back. So this way it does not have to turn away from its attacker. Well, I had to cut it because she struck at the paintbrush and actually latched onto it. Ooh. Okay. So perhaps you're not as quite as well behaved as I was giving you credit for. She's already going into a threat pose. She's got her front pairs of legs about to go up. She was bearing those fangs at us just a second ago. So she's telling us, back off or I'm gonna bite. Letting us know that she means business. Thankfully, with this plastic cup. So, plastic 5-gallon enclosure should do just fine. I actually would like to drill some more holes at the sides here, get some better cross ventilation, but this will have to do for now. Not a big tarantula, so this should do for an adult female. We've got our Reptisoil made by ZoomEd. I really love this stuff, so it's a mix of a couple of different things. We've got peat moss, soil. There's also some sand in there, which I'm not hugely fond of, nor is it really needed, as this is a rainforest species, not a desert dwelling species, but it is what it is. But the soil is really what helps keep that that consistency and the strength that it needs to maintain the shape of a burrow should the tarantula decide to make one. Although they will web up, they will web the substrate inside of their burrow, and a lot of times line their burrows with silk, which will help hold all the dirt together. A lot of times it's easier just to use more moist substrate, such as this, or even organic pesticide-free potting soil than it would be to use pure cocoa fiber. And then we've got what I did was I took 2 cork bark flats and I glued them together to make sort of a funnel-like entrance, almost like a cork bark round, a makeshift one that is. And she can choose to hide in here and web, or dig underneath it, should she feel inclined to do so. And then we've got our, as I said, terrarium moss and leaf litter. So we're really not going to be making too many drastic changes to this enclosure. Just changing out the substrate and then giving her a more suitable hide. Alright, so we've got about 6 inches of substrate in here. This species likes that. They do like to burrow. So I've also provided her makeshift cork round. I made sure the 2 halves were glued together. And I also wedged it as tight as I possibly could against the edge of the tank here, against the corner. So there is no chance that if the tank is turned or moved, that the log could roll over and crush her. And the spider could also burrow in it or underneath it without fear of having it collapse onto her. So next we'll add our moss. What I'm hoping is, since I've included the old moss here, which has a lot of her old silk from her previous enclosure on it, that she'll recognize this as being hers, and hopefully that will prompt her to begin burrowing at a quicker rate and settle in a little quicker. Whoa, look at all that. They are quite a heavy webbed species, especially for a New World terrestrial. They do a very strong, heavy combination of burrowing as well as webbing. So I'm just gonna sort through this a little bit, pick out the leaves, because I want to put the leaves on last. The leaves are just going to be the very top layer. And I'm going to try to scatter them. It's sort of a circular-like pattern around the entrance to her cork bark here. Alright. She's not a happy camper right now, but hopefully she'll settle down fairly quick for us once she's in her new enclosure. I'm going to try just to coax her out here. Don't want to poke or prod her or in any way stress her out any more than she already is. Oh, there we go. Okay, you're spunky all of a sudden. Interesting. I know this species has a reputation for being defensive, but this girl has not shown any aggression prior to this. Okay, come on, let go of the paintbrush. Well, finally got her out. There she is in all of her glory. As you can see, an absolutely stunning spider. Didn't go too crazy with the customization this time, as most of this is going to end up buried or unearthed or arranged in some other manner. But I did give her a good bit more substrate this time. Gave her a nice new hide. Hopefully she'll use it instead of just digging into the corner here, but time will tell. Alright guys, well that about wraps up for this one. Go ahead, like, subscribe. Leave a comment too, I like talking to you guys. It really means the world to me, being able to interact with you guys and just knowing that you support me, that you support this community. It really does, so thank you. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Stay awesome.